Hey everyone, I'm Amy and I post 3 videos a week. I post lots of makeup content, a little bit of skincare, and sometimes vlogs as well. Today's video is going to be makeup I regret purchasing. Makeup that's not worth your money. Don't waste your money. Some of these are actually affordable products, but they are just so bad, like don't even waste the $10, you know? I do only have a handful of products because I do get rid of things. I declutter and I don't keep things around that I don't like typically. If you are interested in this kind of video, go ahead and like this video because I've never done one like this before, and I'd love to know if you'd like to see more around these topics, like things I regret buying or things that are not worth the money. So yeah. Like and subscribe and let's go ahead and get into it. All right, first of all, I would like to mention that I did my makeup to match my shirt. It's a tie-dye shirt. Isn't it cute? First, I want to talk about the Maybelline Sky High mascara. This went like viral on TikTok. It sold out like everywhere. People were having a terrible time like trying to get their hands on it. And I think pretty much everybody that I've seen try it loved it. And I've watched people put it on and it looked good, but most of those people already had super long lashes. So I think that had more to do with it. Like obviously give your mascara to someone with great lashes and everybody will want that mascara because they think it will give them those lashes. It doesn't. I am definitely a thick mascara person. I like my lashes to look thicker, not necessarily longer. And I do sometimes like a holding curl type situation. But this is like every day, the very lightest touch. It just coats your lashes and that's it. It doesn't give you any kind of volume to them, any kind of length to them or anything like that. I do like that it doesn't like flake or anything, but like I honestly don't really care that much about flaking. I think the worst thing for me, aside from the fact that it just doesn't do much for my lashes, is how flimsy, let me put this in front of my face so you can see how flimsy this is. And the little hairs, I guess you would say, are so short that you can like barely grasp your lashes. You know, you like push as hard as you want, but it's just like you're pushing on your lashes and it keeps pushing away and you can't really grip your lashes. I like when it feels like I gripped them and then I'm like coating each one, you know? So every time that I've tried to use this, I've ended up putting another mascara on top of it because it just doesn't do enough for me. It is the most everyday thing. So if you want something that is very everyday, you'll like it, but otherwise it's just a waste of money. It doesn't do anything for my lashes. So regret purchasing that. Let's see. The next one also kind of went viral, but on YouTube and not on TikTok, which is a different kind of viral, I feel. And that is the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. I honestly did not have the highest hopes for this before I even tried it because people were comparing it to the IT CC cream and I don't like the IT CC cream. So I was like, man, if it is like that, I won't like it. But then I was like, are they just saying it because it's in a similar package? Because I do feel like people say that a lot. They say that things are dupes just because they have a similar package. And I don't think the product inside has anything to do with packaging. But I love trying new foundations, so I picked it up anyway. I tried this during Vlogmas last year, and I will link that video here. And I named it the worst foundation of 2020. This was easily the worst thing that I've ever seen on my skin. At least it had coverage. Some things are bad without coverage. We're going to talk about another one in a second. But this is like, it's really bad. It's really bad. It's really bad. I don't like it on my dry skin. And I think it's like, you know, whenever something is like a CC cream, a BB cream, a tinted moisturizer, you think that it's meant for dry skin. I don't think this is. I have seen a lot of people love it, but I think they love it for the coverage, and I think that most of those people do have a little bit more oily of a skin. My dry skin literally drank every ounce of liquid that was in this and then left it looking like a desert sand. Like, think of the dry cracked sand. It looked like that on my skin. If you want to watch that video, I have close-ups. It's terrible. I hate it. I only have it in my collection right now because I'm doing that huge foundation roundup over the whole year where I'm testing and comparing all of my foundations. So that's the only reason I have this, or else it would have been decluttered already. The mascara, it's like, I'll keep it until it dries out and then get rid of it. All right. Speaking of foundations that look worse comparably to the e.l.f. CC cream, this one, the Revolution Super Dewy Skin Tint. I was going to do a 3-day foundation wear test on this. It ended up only being a try-on first impression. I will link it here because it was just so terrible on my skin. It was so terrible on my skin. It like peeled off. It didn't have much coverage. I don't understand. Like, how is this thick, whipped? I don't know. It looked so terrible on my skin. No. So the difference between these two, I think they both look honestly equally horrifying on my skin, is that this one says it's going to be dewy and good for dry skin. This one doesn't say that. And this one has coverage and this one doesn't have as much coverage. So I could see possibly in some alternate reality mixing this with something to give it more coverage, but I tried mixing it in my 3-day foundation wear test and I couldn't find anything that made this work, honestly. But this one is like, you're not giving me coverage, you're not giving me a dewy finish, you're not giving me a skin-like finish, you're not giving me like a creamy, hydrating feel that my skin loves. You're bringing nothing to the table. Nothing to the table. So I don't need you in my life. So I was really disappointed because super dewy sounds right up my alley, but no, not worth your money. Definitely regret purchasing it. All right, the next 3 things that I have here are eyeshadow palettes. First eyeshadow palette. Now, don't get me wrong. I love this brand, and every other eyeshadow palette that I've tried from this brand is spectacular. I think I have like 4 of them that I love. It's just this specific one was definitely a dud. I completely regret purchasing it. I've only used it 2 or 3 times. I used it a handful of times, and I seriously could not get more than 1 look out of it, honestly. And that is the Juvia's Place, the Taupes palette. It looks so beautiful and right up my alley. Very neutral, very cool tone. But all of these colors are very mid-tone. There's not really one that's deeper than the others. So they don't, like, you would use one of them. You wouldn't use them together, if that makes sense. And then the shimmers are just the saddest shimmers. Like, Juvia's has great, look at them on my hand. You can barely even tell that they're there. They're like a whisper of a color. They're just, Juvia's Place with their like bright, fun, colorful looks does amazing. I love them. This one, total dud. Did not like it. If you like a super everyday look and you don't like to go anywhere deep, anywhere too shiny, anywhere too glittery, you might love this. But I'm telling you, I regret purchasing it. I would not recommend it. Don't waste your money. The next 2 are going to be very hard to talk about. Please don't hate me because of these, okay? Because I know that a lot of people love these. But this is just my opinion. Based on all of the many beautiful, wonderful, high-end eyeshadow formulas that I have tried, these 2 are the most underwhelming, the most forgettable, They do not excite me, bring me any kind of joy in any way, shape, or form. Every time I look at them, I just think about the hole in my wallet that they created. That's really what I think about. Whereas when I think about my Pat McGrath palettes, I think about bathing in them. Like, should I put eyeshadow over my entire face? Should I put it on my body? How can I wear these more? My Huda Beauty ones, same thing. I look at them, I'm drawn in, I'm excited. I use the formulas and I'm just as excited. These ones, I don't know why people rave about them. I don't know why. The first one is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Quad. This has been around forever. People have raved about it forever. It reminds me, not color-wise, but performance-wise, of the Taupes palette. There's nothing to this palette. Unless you are paler than me, I don't know how you are doing makeup with this. Unless you like the most neutral eyeshadow look, I don't understand what you're doing with these. Like, the mattes are fine. They're fine. They're fine. They're fine. You know, they're fine mattes. But they are not special in any way, shape, or form. The color is not very special. The formula is not very special. I would compare this to like the Milani, the gold palettes. Very, very affordable eyeshadow formula is what I'm getting out of this. And then the shimmers. So you've got this one, which is basically the color of every highlight that I own. So buy the Essence Pure Nude highlighter and you will get that shade. And it is not even metallic. It's swatched there. Do you see it? It's not even metallic. It is like the very, very barely there sheen. It's like a satin, okay? And then the special shade is this one. And it is just a glitter topper. That's it. There's nothing about that is special. Look at this on my hand. I've got 1, 2, 3, and then one this way. Can you see them? How is this worth $53? It is absolutely not. I don't know why people have been getting on the internet and telling people that this is worth the money, because it is not worth the money. Please do not waste your money on this. Now, I haven't tried any of her larger palettes, but I'm wondering, since they have more variety in the colors, if I would think that would be more worth it. But these 4 shades are absolutely not worth $53. There may be, honestly, if I had spent $20 on this and this was the payoff, I would be upset. It's just very disappointing to me. It's very, 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 very disappointing to me. It 100% quality-wise reminds me of these $5 ones. If it was $5, I'd be like, wow, beautiful, perfect, everyday situation. I hope they have more shades for different skin tones, because even if I was tan, I wouldn't want to use this because it's not enough for me. It's not worth it at all. There's a difference between like differences of opinion. Like I cannot understand how people rave about that one. I don't understand the hype with that one. Okay. Now I will breathe and we will move on to our last one, which I don't feel as strongly about. Okay. I'm not as opposed to it, but it still was not worth my money. And I know a lot of people love this. And it is the Natasha Denona Gold Palette. I think I'm going to end up decluttering this, maybe trying to sell it or send it to a friend, because it's just not doing anything in my collection, you know? So first of all, I would like to say, is this the large? I think this is one of the $129 ones, right? Let me show you what $129 looks like. Look at that. It fell out, and then I put it back in, and then it scrunched down like it shrunk. okay? And it is just not worth it. Oh, here's another one. Look at that one. It's shrinking in the pan. $129. Why? What are you doing? I don't think so. And then I just feel like these neutrals are just, I mean, the quality is fine. Hold on. I just don't think these are special shades that you need to purchase for $129, you know? So maybe it was my problem for picking out this palette because it is the most neutral, because that's what I was thinking. I was like, let me get a palette that I'm going to use the most. But I didn't realize just like how neutral it is. Or it's not neutral. It's a little bit like maybe olivey kind of undertones. Because the Biba one is a lot more neutral. But, so those are all of the mattes. Then you have this satin color right here. Now let's talk about all of these gold shimmer shades. So those are the gold shimmer shades. Let's see. Hold on, let me turn my body so it's not as painful. Okay, this one right here is more of like a topper. It's just a bunch of little glitters. So these three are more my alley texture-wise because they are metallics. And this one's a little bit chunkier, but these two are like smoother metallics. But they are just like very average metallics. They are just very average. Like when I swatch a Pat McGrath metallic, I'm blown away. When I swatch a Natasha Denona one, I'm like, okay. So that's those. And then we have the like cooler shades, right? So we have that greeny color. These ones right here, these would be the only ones that I would like want from this palette. So we've got the, I don't know, like orange gold flip, that blue that fell out, and then this like greeny gold. But when I put them on my arm, look at how unsatisfying they are. Like this one is very, very, very thin, okay? Doesn't give much payoff. Look, it's completely invisible. And then there's like a little bit of a sheen. The blue shimmer is basically like a paler version of this with a little bit of glitter in it. It's not as spectacular that it appears. I just don't get it. And then the last one, that's probably my favorite. This is probably the only shade in here that I would say is worth Natasha Denona pricing. And that is the shade Brass. And I'm going to go ahead and do it on my hand so you can see. So it is this neon kind of flip gold. Super beautiful. This is the only shade in the palette that I think is worth the money. The rest of them, no. I don't think they're worth the money. I don't know. I think that for some reason, Natasha has a bigger like fan base of some sort. So there's more people that dream of getting a Natasha Denona palette, which I get because when I first started watching YouTube, I never heard anything about Pat McGrath. I did hear a lot of people saying, you know, like, this is my favorite palette, but I don't like to use it on camera because I like to use more affordable things for you guys. So it wasn't even something we could watch people use. You know what I mean? It was something kind of like hidden, this hidden secret, this best product that no one even is talking about. So that's why I was so intrigued to purchase it. I bought it, and even when I bought it, okay, I was like, oh. I mean, it's cute and all. You know, the color stories are pretty. The packaging is pretty. That's cool. I was like, oh, not even impressed with it. And then since I bought this Natasha Denona palette, the big one, I have purchased a few of the 5-pan ones. Now, I don't love the quality in those either. I think it's the same quality as what's in here. Very, like, boring to me, to be honest. But because those are only $25, I don't regret purchasing them because, you know, they're good everyday little palette. Throw it in your purse, take it on vacation, you know, anything like that. Like, I can see a purpose for those. I think that is a way better market for her to be hitting because this formula is not worth this much money. It is not. It is not. And I have wanted so many of her palettes because I do love the color stories that she comes out with. The Glam palette, the Biba palette, those are still on my mind. But I just know that the quality is not going to be what I want. The payoff is not going to be what I want. I'm not going to be happy with my purchases just based on the fact of how much I regret this purchase. So, don't hate me in the comments. You're going to hate me in the comments, I know it. That is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you like this kind of video, please give it a thumbs up so I know about it and then I will keep it on my radar. Or if you would like to see other videos in this vein, let me know down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!